Jason Rigby here, guys. I'm all by myself. Alexander McCaig has left the building. Actually, he's left the state. He's spending New Year's in Sedona, so that's nice. We'll have to get some information from him when he comes back. I know on our other podcast, Higher Density Living, we're going to talk about the UFOs in Sedona, and he's doing research on that right now there. So if you kind of like all of like that X-File-y type stuff, we do another podcast. It's called Higher Density Living. Encourage you to. It's fun for us. We love it. So we get into consciousness, science, brain, the mind, all of those things. It's a really great podcast. We'd love for you to listen to it. But I'm reading a book, and it's called Hero on a Mission by Donald Miller. And he begins to talk about, and this is like a great time for this book, because he begins to talk about meaning. And he talks about that being the missing ingredient in our lives. He says, in fact, the lethargic feeling most of us have right now is actually a gift. You know that lethargic feeling you feel when you've ate bad food, you ordered Pizza Hut or Domino's and you just pigged out and you had all that cheese and bread and dough. And then on top of that, what did you do? You binge watched for 6-8 hours straight a new season of one of your favorite shows. And yeah, that pumped you up and you got excited. But at the end, you're like, what did I do? I wasted a whole evening or a whole day. I could have been doing this, or this. And I'm not downplaying that. We all need those times. If you get too stressed out, I encourage people to do that. I do that occasionally. I'll sit and watch. I'm rewatching Game of Thrones right now. And I've kind of got a new take on it. I'm trying to understand each character in their ego. And then relating my ego to theirs. Like Joffrey, the little king that, spoiler alert, that ended up dying with poison. But he was horrific. He was mean and he acted like a little kid. And it's like, how many times do I have to get my way? How many times do I spoil things for other people because I want to be the center of attention? And you could take each of these characters and go through that. And I may do a couple series on it, because I think it would be really, really interesting on the podcast side of things, probably on the higher density living side. But this book, Hero on a Mission, he says that lethargic feeling, it's actually a gift. It's telling us that life as we know it isn't working. So when you get that lethargic feeling, you have to be self-aware enough to say, hey, I need to make a shift. I've got this going on in my life. This isn't working. I need to pivot and go in this direction. And it's not a huge direction. We all think that we have to have these, these moments where an alien spacecraft comes down and gives us, these golden tablets. And then from there we can change our lives. Or we have to have this aha moment. We've all had those. We still haven't changed, have we? Let's be honest with ourselves. How you change is with compound interest. How you change is by finding meaning in your life. And then the day by day little actions that you do add up. It's like, you guys have heard it. We're all business owners, leaders. We know this. If you saved $1 a day since you were 5 years old and you had compound interest with the way the stock market went, the S&P 500, you would have, millions of dollars by the time you're 65. We all know that. We know the magic. It's almost like magic that compound interest works. We know if we, in 2020, went to the gym 3 times a week and we were consistent with that, we know what we would look like at the end of 2020. That was one of the things I really wanted to focus on, and I did that. I was sick a few times, but for the most part, 52 weeks, I went to the gym 3 times. And I've made that commitment for 2022. Also, I hired a personal trainer. And I've been using him for about 4 months right now. And I'm going to use him in 2022 again because he holds me accountable. And some of you may need that. Yeah, be a multimillionaire and die at 53. Come on. Take care of yourself physically. Have meaning. What does that look like? How do you want to be? Do you like the way that you look when you look at yourself in the mirror? Do you like going on vacation and taking your shirt off at the beach? You can fix that. You know that. It's easy to fix. Just takes a little bit of work. It actually only takes 3 to 5 hours a week. That's it. You watch 3 to 5 hours of TV a night. You could do that one night, 3 to 5 hours in a week, and you can solve that problem. Isn't it funny how the things that we know that we should do, we don't, and the things that we really don't want to do, we end up doing them? We just shortcut ourselves. Well, that transfers to business too. So what Donald Mittle's saying here in this book is he's saying this is a gift. It's telling you that life isn't working. So where's it not working? So what I did was for 2022, I looked and I said, physically, what's not working? Mentally, what's not working? Spiritually, what's not working? And emotionally, what's not working? And I went through each of those and I said, 1 to 10, rate myself. I'm all about that. I love the 1 to 10 scale. And I can't use a 7. So I either got to be a 6 or an 8 because everybody defaults to 7 on everything. It's like, oh, I'm a 4 in this. Okay, well, in 2022, I need to work on that. And how he said that you need to do that is story-based goal setting. And what that means is you use the hero's journey. And you're the hero. And you're like, wow, I can't be here. Yes, you can. What does the hero of Jason Rigby look like? Well, it looks like me taking my shirt off at a beach and not having an issue with that when I go on vacation. Mentally, what does it look like? It looks like me being patient and self-aware enough and leading people in the right direction and coaching people properly and helping them solve their problems and me not doing all the work for them mentally. Emotionally, what does it look like? Me being more patient, me being more loving and kind, me taking the time to understand someone and listen more. So I went through all of these and I said, this is the superhero Jason. This is Jason at a 10. This is what Jason looks like. And you would be surprised. It's not that many changes. Okay, saying, okay, I'm going to work out twice a week. I'm going to do yoga 3 times a week. I'm going to go lift weights at the gym with a personal trainer 3 times a week, and I'm going to commit to that. That's not that much. It's 3 hours. It's an hour times 3. Or if you want to do whatever it is, whatever you can commit to. If you only can exercise twice a week, commit to twice a week. It will change you. Walk your dog every single day. Walk kind of fast. Get a Fitbit so that you can check your heart rate. You don't have to be running. You can walk fast. Your dog would love it. These little things that you can do that begins to make change because it's compound interest. You walk 5-6 days a week at a fast pace and get your heart rate up. I guarantee you're going to look like a different person at the end of 2022 just by walking. It's one of the best things that you can do. Eating more greens, eating better, eating cleaner, not running through the fast food, not having super sugary coffee, making changes. Go to 0 sugar coffee. What does that look like? Can you find some sweeteners that you like? Intermittent fasting. That's one of the things I'm doing for 2022. I did it before and it worked really well and I enjoyed it. I get a lot of work done in the morning if I just drink coffee. So I'm doing that. I even fast and do cardio or I fast and work out. I love that. And then I can eat when I get back. I've earned it. That's just something for me. That's what makes me a hero. What does it look like in my work? How can I be a hero in my work? Being a better leader. Not doing so much, delegating more, but allowing people to flourish. And then when they do show creativity, I'm in marketing, so when they do show creativity, praise them to the hilt, to the extent. Give more little things like Starbucks gift cards and lunches and rewards. I love doing those things for people, but I get so busy I forget. Why should I do an ad campaign when I'm the chief marketing officer? I've hired people to do all that. Why am I doing it? Why do I feel like I need to go behind somebody and check their work? That means I haven't trained them properly. So investing more into people for 2022 is what I need to do. For me to have the hero, for me to be the hero of my work means for me to lead better. So guess what I've done? I've bought leadership books and I've committed to 1 leadership book a month. I'm going to read 12 leadership books And you're going to hear about it because I'm going to talk about them on the podcast. See, these are all things that we can do, little things that we can do. I'm not talking about something huge or transformational or awe-inspiring. Making little changes and being disciplined enough to do those. Make sure, because we do all these goals. It's like, I want to make $1 million. Okay, where's the meaning in that for your life? Where's the meaning in that? There's no meaning. Making $1 million, I know people, we do another podcast, it's called TCAST by Tartle, Tartle. And we talk to some of the leading entrepreneurs, leading CEOs, leading CTOs and CIOs of large companies that are multimillionaires and billionaires. We talk to people that are at Harvard, that are running big departments. I mean, the podcast we do, it's a technology podcast. If you like stuff like that, you should look it up. And you know what? Some of them are unhappy and some are happy. And I could talk to them, and I guarantee you money is not the leading factor of whether they're happy or unhappy. Before they had money, they were unhappy, and now they're unhappy. If they were happy before, they're happy now. And I've had the opportunity to talk to several billionaires, and I've asked them. And you know what? Money becomes, it's not as important as you would think it would be. They have the resources. They can do what they want. But time is very important to them. You can't buy time. You only have so much. You have one meat suit. So if you're a billionaire and you literally can't spend all your money, what do you want more than anything? Time. So when a billionaire gives his time up to you, to talk to you, that's a really big thing because that's their number one thing. So they're understanding that when they talk to a person, they're giving something that they have a limited resource on. And we need to understand that. And you need to understand that with your employees. Do not let your employees suck your time. Some of you need to, for 2022, you know what you need to do? You need to clean house. You need to grab a pair of balls and clean house in your business because you have leeches that have leached off you, but you've taught them to do that. And they can't make decisions. They don't know how to act. All they do is know how to tell you the problems and the complaints and then have you solve it for them. And that gives you justification. You have self-worth because you can go home at the end of the day, work 10, 12-hour days, and feel like you've done a bunch. Why are you talking to customers? Why are you handling problems? Don't you have a manager for that? Don't you have a customer service person for that? Why are you doing accounting? Don't you have an accountant for that? Why are you doing all that? I talked to a business leader the other day. For 20 years, they've been doing all this. I'm like, why do you even have employees? What do they do? He complains because they're on the computer all the time, not doing anything. Playing chess and card games and online gambling and just hanging on their phone. And it's because you haven't given them no meaning or purpose. You're doing everything for them. They just tell you a problem and then you solve it for them. How about you let them solve it? You know what? I've done that. And you know what happens? A lot of times they can come up with a better way to solve the problem and more creative than I could. Especially if I get 3 or 4 people on the problem, create a team over it. So I'm telling you guys, how do you become the hero in your life? What does a hero, put your name in there, what does the superhero look like for you? Because you will be shocked at how easy it is for you to have an amazing 2022. And I encourage each and every one of you, take the time, not just to fill out New Year's Eve goals, but take the time to understand what gives you meaning. Is it working at the animal shelter? Do you love animals? Is it doing philanthropy, art, whatever it may be, helping out at the museum? Is it going on hikes and being with nature and climbing mountains? Whatever it may be, guys. Do as Stephen Covey said. This is old. This is super old. This is like 80s or 90s. But this is so impactful, guys, and I'm going to leave you with this. I want to keep this short. He always talked about you take a big jar and you have sand and you have little rocks and you have big rocks. If you put all those big rocks in there, you can't even fit the little rocks in there, can you? If you put all the little rocks and the sand in there, you can't fit the big rocks in there, right? What do you have to do? You first have to put the big rocks in. Then you put the sand in. Then you can put the little rocks in there, right? And then put more sand in. You can get it all in the jar. What are your big rocks? The big rocks are your meaning in life. Some of you need to stop working 10, 12-hour days and work 4 hours, 6 hours, have a personal assistant that you can hire, that you can get very inexpensive online, and have them organize your life for you so that you can have... I have a friend of mine. I'm going to tell you this real quick. I have a friend of mine. He is so scheduled with everything, and this may need to be you. His wife will send calendar stuff to his personal assistant. He has a personal assistant overseas in India. His wife sends him things for the week, for the kids and everything else. Those are his big rocks. That personal assistant puts them in there, and then from there, she has all the big rocks for the week, and then from there puts everything else around it. Have you scheduled your vacations for 2022? Actually, maybe you need to work more. Maybe you've been goofing off since COVID. What does that look like? Maybe you need to put some big rock blocks in there of projects that you need to accomplish. I don't know what it is. One of my big rocks is going to the gym Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday and seeing my trainer. Those are big blocks. That's blocked off more than anything. I don't do any meetings. I don't cancel that. It is set in stone for all of 2022. That's not changing. 4 months of 2021, I put it that way. I don't answer things. I don't look at my Slack. I don't look at my emails. I don't look at anything. I don't answer my text. I don't look at anything. I'm taking the time to take care of myself. We all need to do that. Be the hero of your life.
Thank you for joining us on the Albuquerque Business Podcast. And thanks to our sponsor, RigbyDigital.com. Make sure to subscribe and share. And go to ABQPodcast.com. Get show notes, resources, and links to everything we talked about today to help you navigate your journey as an entrepreneur and business owner.